Odell Thompson. Practice.
Way back in the 1800s, this lady was killed in the ballroom by her friend. She was kind of like a blue-timing lady. She got around very clean, sharp lady, beautiful lady. But one day she ran up on some of her, I would say, wrongdoing a little bit. Someone shot right in the ballroom door. True song. A black lady. She was a black lady.
You hear what it said? He was young, but he's old.
You don't worry about me. You over behind. All right, now. he said, don't put no salt in the bread. That's another old one from way on back. Alabama girl, won't you come out tonight and dance with me in the moon?
If anybody has any questions,
yeah,
or comments,
anybody want to try like a little bit of call or dance, jump on out there. That's all we play, dance type. We call it, white people call it scrap dance, black people call it frolic. So frolic. All the same thing.
you ever follow dances, Joe? You ever?
Little bit. Sure did. That's another long time ago, like.
We'll try one next time.
And then okay, then I'll try to do a little bit of what I used to do when I got a chance. See, I had to play all the time, didn't have a problem. Once in a while, see, I had a brother play the fiddle. He played the fiddle at that time, too. And once in a while, I got a chance to get out there, try to call a few sets. I tried to do like my daddy. He called 16, but I never would try that. I called 8 hands. So I'm going to try to give you a little bit of sample or something like, we'll go back down the line.
Is 16 8 couples?
Yeah, 16 is 8 boys and 8 girls. Right. But I never take 4 boys. Don't start it.
See, he was little, but he was loud.
like these teenagers and things, you know. Just a whole lot more to it. I just got just a little, just to give you an idea how I do it. See, sometimes I call 30 minutes. Ice the window and all that stuff, and go in the gate, but you got to get all the group shaped up so you can do that.
Go back in the corner and...
This is one of my this is one of my teams that I try to call.
What was that tune called?
Old Corn Liquor. I got drunk and fell off the wagon. Old Corn Liquor was still on drag.
You're supposed to sing that.
He didn't say that. He let me down. When I pre-called, he's supposed to be singing. So we're going to play a little bit for you.
I got drunk and lost my hat on.
All the stuff you do, Old Corn Liquor.
Well, what's going on, like everything, a whole lot of other things, gets a whole lot of bad names when you don't do it.
We started playing Alabama Girl.
Yeah, Alabama Girl.
Why don't you come out tonight, dance with me in the room. Some folks say, oh man, I want your daughter. You say, give me $1. All that goes, a whole lot goes in there.
Joe? Okay, I want to say just a little bit about it. And you can tell it better than I can, but Joe and Odell are first cousins, so their fathers were brothers, and so it would be your grandfather played music, and he taught your father there were what, eight fathers?
He had 9 brothers, and
Nine.
all of them played music, and all of them had a big family, and all of us used to play. But I just tell you right off, the rock and roll come out and that flipped the whole path right there.
Yeah.
That left us out right
Now,
there. Now, even my own son plays try to play.
and they're not, of course, not many African American fiddle and banjo players left anywhere in the South, and not many in North Carolina. A few. William Cotton played the banjo, probably. I mean, her Etta Baker, who's a really good fingertip guitar player, plays the banjo. Her father played, but y'all's fathers played, and your dad played fiddle and banjo.
Yeah.
And your father played the banjo, right? And
Yeah, older brother, he played the banjo. It was just music all the way down to the family, even to the granddad played. See, this what you play here, what we're playing now. Most of what you hear us play now is what the granddaddy played. Like years ago, say, well, I'll tell you, my daddy died when he was 86 years old. Plus, he died 1986. He died at 86, and he was...
no, he died in 1968.
1968. Let me get it right. My dad was 86 years old when he died. He died in 1968. Now, how old? What was it?
1872.
All right. A whole lot of this. That's all I know what my daddy used to play, and my granddaddy. Now, we do play something like Mountain Dew, Going Down the Road, Feeling Bad. That's Going Down the Road, Feeling Bad is an old song. I've been hearing all of my life. And we don't play a whole lot of, we play Careless Love, that's still an old song like that. We don't play nothing new. And so, all we play is old stuff.
To make the whole story short, ain't nothing new in us. That's where to tell the truth, ain't that right?
But now, when your fathers played, they played mainly fiddle and banjo. There wasn't any guitar, but then when y'all came along, Odell started out playing the guitar and adding the bass along on its square dances. Then the square dancers would take a break, and Odell and some of the other guitarists would play a number so people could get up and buck dance or what do you call it, Charleston or a Black Bottom and all those modern dances.
Chattanooga Buck Band.
Yeah, and then so the guitars came in, but your father didn't play with guitars.
Not when he was young.
No, when they were young.
No, never feeling bad.
And it was a rich tradition, and there's not many people left to play it.
Yeah.
But at least these guys are going strong and really taking it a lot of places in the last 2 or 3 years. So, are y'all able to hear the fiddle, or you want to do one with this fiddle and banjo so you can hear the fiddle?
Still a little on the soft side compared to the
Banjo,
Yeah, that's right. You need something to pick him up. He's more.
I don't think he doesn't play as loud as he used to.
Play,
He brings the big ones back.
Did you always used to play fretted banjo, or did you play fretless banjo?
For me, well, I started off playing the fiddle.
No, when he was picking my daddy, his dad played fretless banjo.
He just played the banjo only.
That's what you was playing.
He played the banjo and the fiddle, his dad.
they got fretted banjo.
They took out,
frets.
they take the frets out from there up. I believe that's the question you had.
Yeah.
And- It's interesting because I was here with Lachlan Shaw and and Lachlan's brother, he's about the same age as Odell. I found an old photograph of his brother about 1920, and he had taken the first 5 frets up and he fingered it. So.
Yeah, but then he took all the, then, I don't know why he was doing it. He made a mistake or something.
Just me and you play.
When you were telling me, y'all were saying that most of your uncles and fathers, they played clawhammer style. Now we live in the Piedmont, we're far from the mountains.
Yeah, but then they all play
clawhammer.
clawhammer style, just like we play. Old clawhammer style.
And
most people playing that, they pick it.
Yeah. But there's, I don't know if you ever heard of a guy named Dean Roberts. He played with Joe's father. And they all played with him a little bit, didn't they? Dean Roberts.
Yeah.
He was a really good climber banjo player. Played a lot of these same tunes, which these pieces like Black Annie and Old Corn Liquor and Indian Pumpkin Pie, Ryro's House. Nobody plays those anymore except Thompson's. And we're going to play some
And
of
they're
those.
all going down with two. Well, really, he got a brother living. That's all.
Well, yeah, the one my relatives come up with, he put it together on the banjo. The brother I got in Philadelphia, he's about 350 miles away. We can't get together. And this is how I got on the fiddle. See, he was 2 years above me, 2 years and 9 months. The dad had learned him how to play the banjo, and we was together. See, the 2 brothers above me, and then me and him were together. And after he learned how to play this banjo, I was done got arrested. And my mama told my dad, said, "You gonna have to do something for this boy. Said he just having a fit. You got to give him a fiddle." He said, "Well, he's too little to play my fiddle. He'll tear it all to pieces." And so, well, 6, 7 years old, that's the truth. And so my mama had a first cousin, Jimmy White's dad. He had sold 48 packs of seeds. Back in them days, I'm talking about a long time ago, you could sell seeds and get a premium, garden spot seeds. You could get a premium for that, so he bought a little cook for the seeds he sold that was much smaller than this. And so he told him, "Rosie, tell the boy come on get it when he get out of school." I walked 5 miles. See, at that time, little schools in the country I had still. I come home, mama said, "Go get your fiddle, boy. You just worried everybody to death around here." So I walked 5 miles and got that fiddle, come back and milk my cow for $4. And then the brother, Nate, when I tell you about our lunch, he said, "Well, I had 2 strings on here, 2 catgut strings. You know, that's what come on because he's used to. And I didn't have that on the 2 front, 2 first 2. He said, "You ain't got no string. What you gonna do about that?" I said, "I have to ask my daddy for something." But see, back there, that's before Google come through here. Don't none of y'all know much about them days. He said, "You ain't gonna give you no money." So I said, "Well, come on, go with me." Went out to the tractor shed. I got me a pair of pliers. Went to the house and got on that screen door, pulled me 2 screens out there. Mama didn't see that neither. Got me 2 screens out of there and put on that fiddle. The next day I was playing hook and line. Then so my daddy come home and mom said, "Why don't you go listen at your boy? You won't let him play your fiddle." So he come on in there, me and Nate was playing hook and line. He looked at me, he said, "How did that boy do that?" He said, "Well, you won't get my fiddle and play it. I wanted to tell him, I got me one now, and go bother your fiddle." But I didn't tell that dude that though. So that's how I got started. I was about 6 or 7 years old. And this brother had learned how to play that thing, and I played along. I finally learned how to play the fiddle. But I would like to say right now.
I was going to ask you, speaking of the fiddle and how you play, I guess that y'all may know this, but at least this is what they call high bass.
Yeah.
The 2, well,
That's happened.
yeah, it's tuned, the way we're tuned now, it would be, the first 2 strings are tuned like the bottom 2 of this, but GDGD the way we're playing. And then Odell's the tuning for your banjo is
I'll call that the G.
D, B, G, D, G. Whatever regular G tuning, I guess, in the banjo. But that bass string run up. And then we're going to play, later on in the week, we're going to get in low bass. And these guys know some fantastic tunes in low bass. I mean, their version of Monica Catalan is just fantastic. But those are low bass, and we've changed tunings. Now, when I've heard this, I can't remember who talked about it, but when people started playing the guitar first, they tuned their guitar to high bass and low bass. And so when the three played, then the guitar would be in an open tuning too, but I haven't mastered that style yet. So.
Then I would like to say,
Okay.
we was here, what's the 1987, I reckon it was. And we played around here. drank a little bit. He carried him a bottle and stick it in his pocket and his guitar. We be killing the bath in the summertime, and working in the garden. But this is his late at night. He be coming in playing this song, and he was playing careless love. What time is that? See if I can get it going. Says, oh love, careless love.
down at the
Odell, you played the blues before. Didn't you start out with guitar? You started out playing the guitar.
Oh, yeah. Well, I first started playing the fiddle, then I went to the guitar. I played the guitar 40 years. I couldn't give me the blues, and I know that wasn't going to work. So I had to put it down. I picked up the band and then. Well, I've been trying to get it ever since.
Your father played the banjo, though.
Had a nickel, we should have a dime. We should have a cool girl and put some ball on mine. Cabbage down. have a frolic, cold shuffle. We drinking at that thing, we have a frolic that night. The guitar begin to come in. We're gonna play you the first thing that I hear the guitar start out with. You guys have to play it. You need to come running, holding up your hand. You get your woman, I get your man. Oh, man, how she goes, why should I don't worry? Lord, I'm sitting on top of the world. With all this summer, rest all this fall. You had it that Christmas in your overall. And now she's gone, but I don't worry. Lord, I'm sitting on top of the world. And a week of rain, holding out your hand. You get a woman, I find a man. Now she's gone, and I don't worry. Lord, I'm sitting on top of the world. We're gonna summer, we're gonna we're gonna get over all. Should I worry? Lord, I'm sitting on top of the world. All this world, rest on it all. You gotta take good in your overall. And now she's gone, said I don't worry. Lord, I'm sitting on top of the world.
Yeah. That was great.
We got to know my time. 20 minutes.
Let's rest for just a second. Oh, we can't rest till he says this. Oh, let me just rest for just a second.
Okay. All right.
Any comments or questions?
Yeah, when you read the frolics, when you played the dances, now these are just for the black people? Or were they?
Oh, we played for white folks too.
Okay, were they?
They took the same music.
Same music. Did you have any tunes that were different that you played? Because most of the stuff you're doing here, a lot of it, you know, is pretty standard. Some of it is standard.
You know,
Did you have, tunes that are particular to your?
well, most of the things we played when we played for square dance would be like Georgia Club, Horn Liquor, Cindy Gale, Got A Ramblin Mind, and
Some of them fast tunes,
Yeah,
like Chick
that's what I got on the fastest, some of the fastest on the head. Like Alabama Girl, few of them dance on that. But after you play Georgia Buck, Cornlick, Donna Got A Ramblin Mind, John Henry, all them people places like that. About an hour at the time, you be done about half the night in.
I might be able to shed some light on that. I mean, I thought a lot about this and compared repertoires with other musicians in the area. I think that there's a coming together of two really separate traditions, an African-American tradition that goes back, we were talking about it on the plane, well, it goes back to his grandfather, and maybe back further, which was from the Civil War, and you don't find very few white musicians playing Donna Got A Ramblin Mind, Rye Rose House, Black Annie, Old Corn Liquor. Well, then you have a separate string, which is this, which I call the Anglo tunes. Molly Put the Kettle On, Soldier's Joy, Brown Jug. I don't know what much about where that one might.
Hooking the Line.
Hooking the Line, which a lot of standard tunes, and they kind of come together with the Thompsons. I mean, they play both. I think one is peculiarly, an African American tradition. Of course, if you listen to the way they run their notes on all their tunes, Joe, he'll play on the fiddle. I don't know. I guess it's a flat third. I don't know what it is, but it's the blue note, and that's in every one. That's almost in every tune. So even the tunes that are standard are unique for this time nowadays. I mean, like I said, you'll never hear Molly Put the Kettle On like you're going to hear Molly Put the Kettle On. It's just so different. But it's, I think that it's sort of it's a coming together of two traditions, I think, and just that not many white musicians in the area knew these other tunes.
That's going to do it again. I would like to add, I know you got it right.
No, I might not do it right at all.
I wanted to know that this is a dance type music. It's not a bluegrass. It's just a frolicking type of music. See, my dad and his brother, they did a lot of playing for the white folks back in those days. Way on back, I can tell you how them rich farmers, they would get them two boys, they could play music. They would play music and frolic from 7 o'clock to 4 in the morning. Playing for the white folks. And this was the music they was playing. Because everything you hear play comes from the daddy in the window. Now, you play sitting on top of the world. That's way back at the beginning of our time, like in the early 30s. And like maybe one or two more would play. And I don't recall my daddy playing going down the road till the day, but that is an old team. Like Alabama Girl, Georgia Buck, Liquor Song Pipe, and a few more I think about them. That comes from the 17 and 1800s. From way on back, the way I understand. At least my daddy was playing it when I knew it. And that's right, and I started trying to play a little bit. Like when I was 7 years old, maybe I had that learning key. And I've been playing, and I'm 72. And he learned when he was young, man. So that's about it.
I have a question. I'm from South Carolina right now, but I grew up there, and I was wondering, there's a ton of famous fiddlers here from North Carolina, Virginia, and Georgia. How did South Carolina get left out, or just no one heard about them, or?
Well, maybe, I don't know. Maybe South Carolina, I don't know. How South Carolina got left out? I think maybe because read so much of it around in North Carolina. I could tell you this. my daddy, he was a Thompson. Well, the truth is what you want. They got their name from the master, from the slave. This man in Leesburg, Preston County, he had so many slaves. When he turned them loose, he gave them his name. And that's where the Thompson comes from. Preston County in North Carolina, near Roxbury. And they got a road down there now named the Thompson Road. And there's still some of them in there. And my daddy got all up there around Benjamin and Cedar Grove. And that's where we come from there, Chapel Hill area. And that's how the Thompson got in there. This man had a whole lot of slaves. And he released them all, freed them all. They was just there, and we got a little bit of the history. And there's a few more things I could tell, but I would rather, you know. And so that's how so many Thompson got in that area.
I think too, in where we live, people had for many years such focus on the mountains. And there are not many mountains in South Carolina. And there's a lot of work done on the Sea Island in South Carolina. And then people would go to the mountains, but they left out all the Piedmont, where a lot of this music was played. Now, where we live and where John D. and I live in Durham. And Durham back in the 30s was a real, you may remember this, Odell, but it was a real center for the blues.
Yeah.
And there was a fella that came from Greenville, South Carolina, by the name of Gary Davis, and he's from South Carolina, and he ended up in Durham and then eventually in New York. But there were a lot of musicians, a lot of blues musicians that came from South Carolina and ended up in North Carolina. And I have talked with people, about string band music, and I think that there was quite a bit, but nobody did any work. They still haven't done any work in South Carolina or Georgia to speak of. I mean, not the kind of work that goes on in North Carolina. I don't know why our state just got attention early because of the mountains, and people just kept working.
I would like to tell them that there ain't many black fiddle players.
No.
Not many. And the first one I met was out of South Carolina, but he played the blues.
Who was that?
I can't think of it.
That's Armstrong.
Yeah, I'm
Armstrong was a blues player.
Oh, yeah.
I can play black fiddle player out of Memphis. You probably know about him. Oh, yeah.
He was here a couple years ago.
He was.
Yeah, he came in here.
You
Okay.
still know Armstrong?
That's
Yeah.
right.
He's from Tennessee, originally. He was from Tennessee, originally.
Yeah, Tennessee.
Well, I know we was in Chapel Hill, we was there for years, and he had a record of South Carolina come out.
I think he got the name Louis in South Carolina.
Oh, I know he had something.
There's a lot of
We met Armstrong.
Yeah, that's the same one. That's the same one.
let's play a couple more.
Okay,
Go through lunch. Well, we hadn't played John Henry. We hadn't played Ida Red or Coming Around the Mountain or Mountain Dew.
Let's get out of here.
Ida Red and then John Henry and then call that session.
Excuse me.
So, he wants to.
It's still a little hard to hear.
Ida Red.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's finish up with John Henry.